0, 1. Let's get started.
And a very, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host, Andreas. Thank you for tuning in. The very first episode of 2025. It's been a crazy ride, like the end of 2024, and all the videos and the followers and the feedback. And, you know, we had so many things happen in the off-season, trades, drafts. It was just... It was a crazy end to a disappointing season, but I still think it was successful nonetheless, regardless. But we're not doing a review of last year. It's a new year. The show continues. I thought I'd get in early and start the season off with these videos simply because, you know, I'm so keen on the footy to come back. It's been so far. It feels like it's been a long off season, obviously, because we make the finals. I felt like in 23 when we won the flag, going into 24, it went like that. It was the shortest off season, probably because we were too busy celebrating and etc. etc. But that's in the past now, and we've got stuff to look forward to. This video today that I'm going to do, it's not solely about the pies. Even though the whole channel and stuff is, I'm going to do a ladder predictor of what I think is going to be the final ladder for 2025. I'm not going to do finals and grand finals and stuff like that, just where I think that they would finish. And then obviously you could see who would play who yourself and then make your own predictions from that. But this is just what I think, going by how the clubs are going, personal opinion based upon last season's performance. Feel free to disagree, but tell me what you think. Drop a comment and call it as you see it, which we'll say at the end, as we do with every video. But I'm going to get straight to it now, so let's go. Okay, so I'm just going to cut straight to it. I'm going to put it split screen and do whatever when I edit the video after I'm done. Also, got a new mic. Tell me, drop a comment, just a side note, and tell me if you think the sound's better. Otherwise, I can use the other mic, but this is just a lot easier. I've got a bit more room to move and stuff. I don't have to sit too far back and whatever. So I like this. You know, I'm stepping up in the world now. Top 4, finishing in first. I'm going to just throw it out there. I think Brisbane is still going to finish on top of the ladder next season. I don't see them losing too many games at home. I think clubs like us, potentially someone like Carlton, who tends to, you know, play okay. They beat them there last year at the start of the season. Melbourne also play okay there sometimes as well. I don't know. I don't see many clubs going over there and knocking them off. I do see them, though, struggling, particularly in Melbourne. But with that being said, I mean, reigning premiers, I'm also thinking potential premiership hangover, but I can't see them losing many games at home, and they play so many games at home. I think it'll be enough for them to finish on top of the ladder. Coming in second, yep, my bias hat's on. That's just this is fact. This is how I actually see it. I'm putting us in second position this year. I genuinely think that there's been other videos that have gone out and stuff, and people are saying, "Oh, what's a pass mark for the Pies this year? Blah blah, premiership or nothing." Minimum, like obviously finals. If we don't make finals this year, forget it. You know, but we have to finish in the top 4 to have any chance at the flag this year, even with the good strong list that we've got. With that being said, I think we're going to dominate 80% of the competition this year. I might have to eat my words. I might not. I don't know. But I genuinely think that we are so much better than other teams in this competition. It's not funny. And if we just have, and I know this is very generic to say, but if we just have a good run This season, with the injuries, anything is possible. Even higher, we could probably finish first. We get the injuries that we did last year. Hey, look, we missed the finals, right? But I'm pretty confident that we are better than at least 80%, if not more, 90% of the competition. The games with the teams towards the bottom of the ladder from last year and potentially for what I'm going to say later, I think teams like the games like against St Kilda, we're going to smash them. North Melbourne, we don't beat them by a point. We beat them by 10 goals and so on and so forth. But I think I'm going to have us finishing in second, and then we'll replay this later on during the season. Third, I've got Geelong. I think it's the last stand of class that they've got. I think this is their last time of showing the brilliance of their list management, of the players that they've got. Obviously, they're very similar age bracket to us. They were older than us at one point, and we've obviously just gone on top. But I genuinely think that they are probably still going to be in the top four. And like you think the sides that they play at Skilled Stadium, I don't see them losing games there at all against anyone really. So yeah, I hate it, but I've got them finishing in third. In fourth, Fremantle. Now they probably were stiff not to make the top four last season. They died in the arse like right towards the end. But I think that at home they are just going to have too much of an advantage. I don't see many clubs beating them at, I was going to say Subiaco. I don't see too many clubs beating them at Optus Stadium. With Fremantle, they are a confidence team. As soon as they get hit by just a bad result here and there, I find that it sort of triggers them for like a fortnight or 3 weeks where they've got to try and play themselves back into form. And you don't want to be a team towards the bottom of the ladder having to go over there and play them because they'll spank you, and then whoever plays them the week after, they're going to be back into form and they'll probably win that game too. So I've got them being in fourth spot. So coming in fifth, don't want to elaborate too much, but the favourable fixture, I know people from Blue Abroad are going to watch this and other Carlton supporters are going to watch this and say something, but you've got the best fixture in the comp for a top 8 team, okay? They are going to finish in fifth spot. I think they're going to start off a bit shaky. They're probably going to have a few injuries. Obviously, Charlie Curno's there's a bit of a question mark over him. He's too important to their structure. But the favourable fixture is going to help them significantly towards the end. I think the only thing stopping Carlton from making the top 4 this season are the top 4 clubs that I've already said. So Brisbane, Collingwood, Geelong and Fremantle. I think they're the reason why Carlton won't make the top 4 is because those clubs are going to have probably a little bit more better parts throughout the year, a little bit more consistent, and obviously they're going to have more points on the board for them to finish in top 4. And I just think that Carlton are probably going to be thereabouts, but you give Carlton the home final at the MCG, I don't think they're going to lose that game. So, I mean, that's the club that you don't want to come across in the finals. And, as a Collingwood supporter, you're obviously always, shit scared of what they're going to do. And that they'd be exactly the same for us. So I've got them in fifth. In sixth position, I've got Hawthorn. I think with their young list, right, they could potentially just blitz it and finish on top of the ladder. But I've got them in sixth spot. I think with the young list, they're probably going to stuff up some games and lose some games they probably should win. Like I can see them dropping a game they shouldn't against St Kilda. I can see them dropping a game they shouldn't against Gold Coast. But then you play them against the top sides and they'll beat Brisbane away. They'll smack us at the G and they'll probably beat Geelong wherever they play them. So I've got them sitting in sixth. In seventh, I've got Sydney, new voice, a bit of change, a bit of tweaks, probably just take a year to adjust, but they've got a pretty strong list. So the grand final loss may have hurt them mentally quite a bit, the way they lost it, but who knows? So I've got them in seventh. And in eighth position, I've got Port Adelaide. Sorry, that's my missus doing something in the background there. I've got I've got Port Adelaide in eighth. I think it's going to be all about Ken Hinkley, and they're just going to bottle it towards the end. But they're going to do enough at home to sneak into the top eight. So we'll see how we go. That's my top eight. It's up there. Let's get to the bottom half of the ladder. Okay, so coming in at number 9, I've got the Western Bulldogs. Now, they are so unpredictable. I could have had them potentially between 5, 6, and 7 as well. I just feel like they're going to struggle to win away. At Marvel, they're world beaters. I know some Doggies fans are going to watch this and they're going to lose their minds at me saying that, but they're very much me, me, me. Like they've got a couple of stars here, stars there. They've got the Bont, who's just a legend, right? And then you've got, Jamar Ugle-Hagan and Norton. And I don't know, I feel like they're very like an individual sort of based setup, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do too much damage. Playing them as a Collingwood supporter, playing them at the G this season, I think is a game changer for us. But yeah, I just don't think they're going to win too many games away from home. I don't think they're going to beat. I don't even know if they play them, but I don't see them beating Port Adelaide. I don't see them beating a Brisbane. I don't see them beating. I mean, they'll struggle against Gold Coast away, I think. Yeah, just my opinion, but I've got them sitting at 9th. 10th, GWS. I think they're going to have a slide year this year. Their only saving grace is their forward line. I think their forward line is like, I don't need to go through the whole list of players, but adding Jake Stringer into that side, if he has a dominant season and you're putting him next to Toby Green, you're putting him next to Jesse Hogan, like, you just got to get the ball down there, I just think that they're probably going to drop a little bit. Adelaide consistently around 10, 11, 12. I think that they've probably got that one more season of being in that spot, and then I think they've recruited well and stuff, and then with their draft picks they've got, probably Tex moving on after this year, there's a bit more flow coming through the side. So I think in 2026 Adelaide are probably going to be the one to watch. I reckon they might be the sneaky creeper up the ladder. So that's what I got there. Coming in at 12, Gold Coast. I think there's going to be a fair bit of change there this season. Obviously, with Noble and Rioli coming in, they're going to really try and hit that Richmond of style of play that they did in 2019, 2020's style. I feel like Dim is really going to push the halfbacks and push the wingmen up, and they're going to be very attacking. But I reckon they're going to be just as easy, really easy to get back on the rebound. So I've got them at 12. Now, 13, there's going to be a few of my mates that are watching this video, they're going to freak out, but I got 13 being at Melbourne. Now, a few of my mates have non-Melbourne supporters that I've been talking to. They think Melbourne are going to finish in the bottom 4. Now, that's a serious possibility. I think the Demons are going to get a reality check this season, and they are going to finish. I got him here at 13th, and I think it's going to be accepted amongst the football community as well as the Melbourne supporters that this is where you're at now. You had your time. You probably should have come close to winning another flag, but it's a drop down back to reality, and we'll go from there. I'm going to stand by this. This time next year, Christian Petrarca won't be at Melbourne. Just my personal opinion. Anyway, we'll put that in the bank for the end of the year. All right. 14th, I've got North Melbourne. I reckon they're going to win a couple more games than what they did this in 2024. I see them potentially knocking off a big club on an off day, similar to what they probably should have done against us at Marvel. They're youngsters. I've got this feeling we're going to see a player from North Melbourne dominate a football season this year, and I've just got the feeling it's going to be George Wardlaw. I love the way he plays. I love the way he attacks the ball. I love his tackling pressure. He's very quick when he picks it up and gives it off. I think he's going to be a sneaky for All Australian this year. If North Melbourne are able to win a few more games as well, he will poll well in the Brownlow medal for 2025. But I see them obviously being at 14th, but I think what Clarko's got going with them and the youngsters they've brought in, and if there's no more off-field drama there in regards to the whole Clarkson crap that was going on, and also like last year they had to deal with the Taron Thomas side of things as well. If there's none of that, there's no distractions. They will gel better. Like the kids will come together, and let's face it, they're not going to make finals regardless. You've got nothing to lose. Probably just another couple of high-end draft picks, but like I mean, you finish 14th where I've got you. You're getting the pick in the top 8, top 10 minimum if there's any compensations coming in. So 15th. Sorry guys, St Kilda. They haven't got anything. I feel as if St Kilda they don't have any player that is an A plus player, right? That is going to grab a game by the scruff of the neck, break it open, and do it on a consistent basis. I don't see them. They haven't got Nick Dacos. They haven't. And obviously, it's a Collingwood channel, so we'll use a Collingwood comparison. They haven't got a Nick Dacos. They haven't got a Jordan DeGoey. They haven't got even a 37-year-old Scott Pendlebury. They haven't got a 33-year-old Steel Sidebottom. They haven't even got like we've got players that can just bust the game open, like those ones. A Bo McCreary, a Braden Maynard, an Isaac Quainer when he's on. You know, I don't see St Kilda having much of that. I think their oldest forward was it them? Was it oh, I forgot his name. Was it Sinclair? Oh, Higgins? Sorry. Like, anyway, I do want them to do a little bit better, but I can't. I don't see them winning any big games. Like the game they beat us last season was rubbish, you know. But if they play that style of football, who knows? I don't really see them playing good football anywhere else around the country apart from Marvel, because they're like obviously a specific Marvel tenant. But yeah, I think they're going to have a down season, and I think it's going to put some serious pressure on Ross Lyon, which I'll talk about in the second part of all this. 16th, I got West Coast. I think they'll probably win a couple more games down at Optus Stadium. I think they're probably still maybe new coach. Give them another 2-3 years sort of down there, get some more draft picks in. Their biggest concern at the moment is that they need to hang on to Harley Reid, and they need to build that team around him. And similar to what we're obviously doing with Nick Dacos, but like he's got the potential to be, I can see him being like a Paddy Cripps type player, even better. Brownlow's, and if West Coast play good, I mean, there's no reason why he can't win a flag with them. But they need to specifically draft and recruit players to play around him, and players that he's gonna make better, and that are gonna complement his style of play, because he's a freak. Do I think he's gonna stay at West Coast? Absolutely not. He'll be at either Collingwood, Carlton, or Essendon within 12 to 24 months, I would think. I don't think it'll be us, but I think a big club like a Carlton or an Essendon will definitely try to poach him, and that's a scary proposition. 17. Sorry, guys. I think Essendon are going to finish close to the bottom of the ladder. I think they're going to really struggle this season. And judging by what Matt Rosa said during the trade and draft period, they're going to rely a lot on their kids, and they're focusing on their kids, and they told the fans to be patient. For me, that's, hey, we're going to be shit for the next couple of years, and we're going to get some good draft picks in, and then we're going to catapult up. It'll pay off. I think it will pay off for Essendon. Do I think they're going to win a flag in the next 5 to 10 years? Probably not. I mean, they should win a final by then, but I don't see them winning a premiership. But that's with what they've got now. If they draft well, I don't know if we're going to have a deep draft like we've had this year, but if they draft well, you might want to, instead of being mediocre, like instead of being a mid-table club every year or pushing for top four and you're sitting there all throughout the season, the last 6 weeks you die in the arse and you drop out of the 8. Sorry about that. My phone decided to cut out just then. So yeah, just got on Essendon there. So you'd rather not be a mediocre middle table club, and you'd rather just go down the bottom and get a few draft picks and stuff. And I just can't see them. I can't see them winning too many games this season. But you just never know. You never know. Anzac days are always different, regardless of where the teams are. When Collingwood plays Essendon, Essendon plays Collingwood. Both teams could be shit. One could be good. One could be shit. Who knows? It's gonna be a game for the ages. So it's hard to read. Richmond, I think, will finish last this season, and I don't think it's panic stations at all. The way they drafted, I think within the space of maybe 2 seasons, they are going to shoot right back up. I don't know if they'll make the finals within the next 2 or 3 years, but I think they're going to get close. And it's just a matter of the fans putting up with the hard times now after you've had such a successful period. Like, as a Collingwood supporter, if we won 3 out of 4 premierships and they said, hey, you're going to have 5 years down the bottom ladder to rebuild, yep, that's fine. I'll take that. So I think Richmond supporters should be patient and appreciate what they have or what they got and what they're about to get, especially before Tasmania come in and just make a compromised draft even more compromised. So just quickly, which coach do I think is going to be sacked first this season? I reckon Ken Hinkley won't. If Port go completely opposite to what I said before about them, I reckon Ken Hinkley will be the first to go. I reckon Beveridge is on thin ice as well. And after that will probably be Ross Lyon. That's my personal opinion. But that's it. So that's my bold prediction. So everything's come up on the thing. It's the first video of the year, so there's not much to speak about. I'm so happy, and touch wood, I don't jinx it, but I'm so happy that no Collingwood people have been in the spotlight this off season so far. But the boys will be back at training pretty soon, and it's straight into it. We've got pre-season games coming up in Feb, so just over a month's time, pretty much footy's back. How good. Anyway, Happy New Year. I hope you guys had a wonderful break. I'll be posting some videos over the next couple of weeks and stuff, and then pretty much after the practice games, we'll be going half leather for the season, posting regular content. So enjoy the rest of your holidays if you have them. Stay safe. Make sure you drop a comment, call it as you see it. And as always, for the first time in 2025, go the Pies. We're on your time, babe. People are just waiting for you. It's all good. Close the door, please.